Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Leading Our Own Way. This is part 2. I'm Andrew White, the host. If you don't know who I am the host of Leading Our Own Way, and you're here, and it's because you're ready to take control of your journey, to understand yourself deeper and create a life that truly reflects who you are. Well, if you missed part 1 with Vanessa Tavares this week, please go back, give it a listen, because it'll make sense if you're tuning into part 2. It's just the episode below. Oh, and Tuesday Truths, which is highlights too, if you want to check that one out. Anyway, in part 1, Vanessa opened up about understanding the brain and how it can transform education and personal growth. But now we're going even deeper. Today, Vanessa shares her personal journey from Brazil to Australia and the eye-opening cultural differences she witnessed in how we support people with disabilities. We explore the daily routines and health practices that have become her foundation, not just for living longer, but for living better. I love it. And we tackle some of the toughest, most important topics, the psychological weight of family dynamics and the historical context of ADHD that most people have never heard, and why modern parenting requires us to unlearn so much of what we were taught. This is a conversation about resilience, self-awareness, and the courage it takes to build a life that supports who you truly are. If you've ever felt misunderstood or struggled to find your place, what Vanessa shares about community, education, and the journey of self-discovery, it's going to hit home in ways you didn't even expect. It's a great little lesson that we did today. I loved it. Please tune in. Here's Vanessa and myself. Oh, and please support the show. Give us a follow and a bit of review if you can. Enjoy. Before we dive in, I want to give a big massive shout out to our now new proud sponsor, Eshu Skincare, a brand that truly aligns with Leading Our Own Way. This Australian-born company is dedicated to keeping skincare simple, effective, and straightforward. They've made waves in the US, even landed in Macy's and over 300 stores, and now they're back with a renewed focus on healthy skin and real results. If you want authentic skincare that fits your lifestyle, check them out in the show notes. Thanks to Eshu Skincare for supporting real stories and mental fitness on Leading Our Own Way. And if you're interested in sponsoring like Eshu Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to connect. So in your bringing your life experience into it, your parent experience, and then your professional experience, and if you could put them all together and kind of dig into it, what do you think has dramatically changed because we both work with children as well, what do you think dramatically changed? Why has things changed dramatically in the last 10 years with the increase of, I don't know, ADHD, all of those type of topics? What do you think it is?
Yeah, I think ADHD is not a new thing. It always has been there.
Yeah.
One of the things that changed is obviously how we actually, there is a lot of evidence on how when you have a child in your womb, there is a lot of genetics, things that are going in your womb, and whatever experience that you're having, you actually transmitting, putting that into your child. Yeah. It's all in this, energy field. And I think the fact that both parents are really busy, both family are now having to contribute to a home. Things are not getting any cheaper. It really puts pressure into building a family in a healthy way. And then, having a child that you can actually enjoy the time with. Even after the child's born, we all get really busy and we have to, find the time to dedicate to certain areas of life. And I think it's more about the parent having the time with the children. And that's what I think has drastically changed. Yeah. And the fact 100%. That we all, the ADHD is definitely not a new thing. Autism is not a new thing. This always has happened. And I think what this research wants to bring to us is that, yes, this always existed. It's not a new thing, but how we can learn about to then help other people. As a teacher, how can I then develop a school environment where this child is going to thrive? As you mentioned it before, before used to be the teacher who was dictating everything her way, or no way. And now it's more like, understanding the child, perspective. What are their learning difficulties? What can we do? But again, sometimes that we do lack resources. We can't cater for everything, you know.
Yeah,
And I
it's
think as a
hard.
parent, we can just do as much as we can. But
Yeah.
I believe it certainly has to do with a lot of what you're genetically exposing when you're pregnant throughout the child's milestones, you know.
Yeah.
And as you know, like relationships also are very difficult when you have a child. I don't think every parent is ever prepared. It's never
Well, we become a
prepared.
parent when the child's born, don't we? The same day.
You
The
just go,
the
off you
child's
go.
born, and all of a sudden you're born as a parent as well. People
Yes.
forget that, don't they? You know, it is hard, and I think you're right. I think we have to go back to the genetics. You know, if you're stressed at the point of conception, the chances are the child's going to be very stressed as well.
Yeah.
There's some evidence around that I've read over time, and I do go back to genes because I think if we can look at the expression of our genes, we can also look at what our bodies can cope with, because everybody's different. We have
Mm.
19,000 genes, give or take, and I don't think there's anything left to uncover, discover there in the sense of the genes. But I think we do have to look at them. I think we have to do a roadmap. I'd love to do a roadmap on my children, get a
Mm.
gene test done, and look at what they can convert. When talking about food, there, my son has a gene called MTHFR, which means he can't convert or methylate folic acid. Folic acid is on your bread, on your pasta, it's your rice and cereal and so on. He has the weaker variant. I think there's two variants, one stronger than the other, and then it obviously depends if you got it from one parent or two parents. But you know that gene has always been there.
Mm.
But the things we've been putting on our food hasn't,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're expecting the genome to catch up with what we've created in the last 40 years, 50 years on our foods. And Paul Taylor, the neuroscientist that had on the podcast not earlier in 2025, he said the genes haven't changed in 45,000 years, and we're
Mm.
expecting them to keep up. So there's, I think it's clashing.
Yeah.
So yes, it's always been there. The food hasn't.
Yeah.
What you said, you cook and you eat natural food and you eat good healthy foods. And do I have a McDonald's here and there? Yeah, I do. I'm not going to lie. But
Mm.
when I was younger, I'd be eating that type of stuff every week, if not nearly every day. And I think children are eating that stuff so much earlier in life, whereas I didn't till I was probably 17
Mm.
or 16, because my gran cooked good foods because she was old and traditional and coming from the early England time, and everything was cooked, right? But then when I got older, I'm lazy, I'm out busy. My gran doesn't feel that she needs to cook me anything anymore because I'm out and about doing my teenager adult thing. So what do? You get fast foods, and then I can see my body and my aching over time coming. I have ankylosing spondylitis, which is an autoimmune issue in my lower back.
Mm.
I've reversed the pain, but they wanted to put me on cortisone to whatever, and I said I'm not doing that. So I
Yeah.
really went deep on wanting to look at the reversal. Now, have I cured it? Absolutely not, because when I do have a McDonald's, I'm aching that night. It's like a
Right.
hangover, right?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I've learned my triggers and I've learned what to do.
Yes.
I just find it all very fascinating, and I think we can educate ourselves on that and look to reverse it. Again, we can't change our genotypes. We can just learn to switch on,
Yes.
switch off
Yeah.
what we need and what we don't need,
There's a lot of these arguments about, whether injections actually causes autism or
Oh,
not.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if
That's
about that to comment on
huge.
that.
That's huge on this research, Are they
Yeah, it
trying to
is.
find a correlation? Is that causation? Is it not? But I think one of the evidence that they had is that if the parent is using a lot of Panadol during pregnancy,
Oh, yeah.
there are a higher probability of having a child with neurodivergent.
Right.
Yes, so
Didn't know that.
apparently Panadol. I'll send you the link for that as well. It causes also changes in the genes. I mean, food does, so why not? So I think it's a little bit of everything. And I as a researcher as well, I never like to make a conclusion to one thing. We always look at the history,
Yeah.
the background information that we have from the child and the parent, and how this was kind of developed. I think as a human, we always want to know the answer as well.
Yeah.
Don't we? We always try to dig deep and like, where is this coming from and why? And let's try to reduce it. I think I think again is one of the things that we try to do the best as we can with what we have, and
Absolutely.
try to mediate, you know, and navigate it, and navigate this situation that you kind of causing these feelings and things to happen and occur.
Absolutely.
And it's fascinating, you know, because it's like a rabbit hole. You never end. It's always something, you know.
Yeah.
What about this and what about that? And yeah, it's
That's the
incredible.
beauty of science, though, isn't it? We'll probably say everything we're saying now is wrong in 10 years' time, you know?
Yes, so we never like to make one conclusion as well. Like, I think people go, "Oh, you study psychology, you know everything." No, I don't. I actually tell people I don't know everything.
Yeah.
I don't. You kind of have to be humble and go, I don't know. You know, you are one person, you've got one background information, you've got one history. That's an individual completely different from another environment. So we learning as we also processing these things. We of course we have therapeutic environments that we can replicate, but also I think is one of the things as well that I've learned over the course of my studies and my career is like, you also, it is a hypothesis of something, but there are things that you can add and take out to see whether this would be changing in a person's life, you know. So, and then you only find that when you're doing the progression of that client, individual client. You're never really going to find like just one result. And a lot of diagnoses have comorbidity with other disorders. You know, some people have depression, but they also have periods of anxiety. Sometimes they have anxiety, then they build to depression, and then now they've got PTSD. You know, because it's always like that. I think the main thing that I think of, it's like getting into the surfing waves and trying to surf and do the best you can with the waves going up and down, up and down. And I believe that if you find the right person to help you navigate, and for children as well, and I think you probably would agree with that, if you got a good coach, like a life coach and a counselor, you can see like the youth will absolutely thrive. You know, they have someone they can talk to, they can vent out things that they can't vent out to their parents.
Yep.
And I think all these creations of resources, again, not always, but it is possible. Yeah.
I mean, given our absolutely, you know, giving our children those basic, what we said before at the beginning, giving everything ourselves as well. You know, we can't look after our children if we're not looking after ourselves. That whole oxygen mask on the plane scenario.
Yes.
But you know, we've got to be giving ourselves the basics that human needs in order then we can, because things will go up and down in our lives. We will come across a bigger mountain that we have to cross, and if we can't cross it, we might go into that anxiety state or that depression state. That sad, that constant. When that's, I mean, sadness is a survival emotion that's got us through millions of years of evolution. However, if we can't navigate ourselves through that, that's when we do fall into the long-term state of depression or the byproduct of fear, which is anxiety. You know, I think we do have to be prepared for when something goes wrong, because things will go wrong. And I want to give myself the tools, what we said before about the cold plunges, and I was navigating, rolling through things they're not going to kill me, but yet I was feeling like they were killing me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we want to get through all of those in a really healthy way, sit in it for a moment, navigate ourselves through it, and then climb over that mountain. And we might see a much bigger mountain in the distance, but we've got the tool set to get there and get through it. And I think I don't know, I just see so many people running through so much sadness and fear at the moment. I think, you know, darkness. And
I feel also like the community has a lot to actually help with this. You know, if you find a good community, absolutely. I think as a mom is one of the things that I'm actually on it. I think that in Australia we're more individualistic culture, but in Brazil we are really collectivistic people, where we help each other. We are there. If a parent wants you know, I'll cancel plans, and I do that believe me or not, I'm very busy, but I make time for those children. You know, if I'm connecting with a parent outside of my professional world and we can help each other, I am gonna 100% help them. Like, I can schedule it, I can reschedule it. Like, I'm full on community. So I think
Love
it's
it.
one of the things that is actually missing as well, having that community where you can, okay, my child's fine if I am here working and someone picked them up after school. Like, it's not really common. A lot of people are very individuals about that and have their own schedules. But yeah, culturally, it's a little bit of a difference as well for me. But luckily, I have been able to slowly progress to this more collectivistic culture. Most of my friends are European background as well. But yeah, I've got Aussies and Europeans and all the mixture. But yeah, I can see there is a lot of that could contribute as a child centered sort of and parents as well. Communities would definitely make such a difference to adapting into these changes, that we haven't been able to in the long
Yeah,
term,
I
the
agree.
schedules.
Yeah, no, I know. I get it. I totally get it. With you now then, Vanessa, I love going to root causes and everything that you've explained that you do professionally, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and so on. There's always a root, right? There's always a reason why. Where did this all begin for you? Maybe take us back to your childhood in Brazil. Explain briefly, if you want, wherever you're comfortable going, how you grew up, your childhood, and who you grew up with, and why you moved around the world. Just taking a very quick break to thank our sponsor, Eshu Skincare. If you haven't heard of them, Eshu Skincare started right here in Australia, using Australian ingredients to make skincare straightforward and accessible, especially for men who want results without the fuss. Their journey took them all the way to the US, where they were featured in Macy's and over 300 stores. Now they're back with a fresh approach, focusing on healthy skin and authenticity for everyone. I'm proud to have Eshu Skincare as a sponsor on Leading Our Own Way. See the show notes for their website and to see how you can keep your skin healthy and confident. And if you're interested in sponsoring like Eshu Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Now, right back to the episode.
Yeah, so my family background, like we are a family of 5. So I was born in Aracaju, northeast of Brazil. We grew up, it used to be like a real fisherman kind of city. Now it's most of the people who actually moved away from it to learn and study, they returned after COVID and build new businesses, and it's starting to really flourish, and it's a beautiful city. It's very clean and organized. It's very different than the bigger cities of Brazil. But I was lucky enough, I still have the pretty much similar lifestyle as I've got it here in WA. But when I was about 18, I decided to move to New Zealand. My sister was in New Zealand, in Queenstown, and she said, it's fascinating, you should go. It's got the snow. It's very different, completely different contrast. So I decided to move to New Zealand when I was 18. Had a couple of work with McDonald's and, like all their very first few jobs. Had a couple of Kiwi friends. Absolutely loved New Zealand, and I traveled there every other year if I can. I still have friends down there. But later
You just went,
on
didn't you?
Sorry?
You just went to New Zealand not
I
long ago,
just
didn't
went
you?
to New Zealand, yeah. I was in Queenstown for 2 weeks. I try to go there every year if I can. I take the kids for snow, seeing my friends, catch up, have a laugh and see how old we're getting apart, but still having a laugh about it. I love it.
The famous burger place there, is it Ferg Burger?
Ferg Burger, yes.
That is delicious.
Have
Talking
you
about
been? Have you
food.
been to Queenstown?
Of course I have, yes,
Yeah.
I have. Yeah.
You wouldn't miss out. You wouldn't miss out, would you? It's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. And
I was like, everyone raving about this burger when we're in Queenstown. I'm like, yeah, you're just jumping onto what everyone says about this place. I'm not, and you go out for a few drinks. This is when I was unhealthy, of course, having a few drinks, and I went and had the burger. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I was putting it in my mouth, and then I bit into it. I was like, oh my God.
yes.
It is really good.
Yes. You should tag Ferg Burger on this.
They'll either hate me or my viewers will hate me. So I don't know.
One or the other recommendations. But it's definitely like one of the things, like you must do it when you're in Queenstown.
You've got to try it, yeah.
Yeah, you got to try it, like the relish and everything. Like that is nothing about that. But when you eat it, it's actually really, really good. It's totally worth it. But yeah,
I'm going to have to edit this bit out, I reckon.
Yeah, maybe do that.
No, I'm joking. I won't do
that. Yeah, talking about food and being unhealthy.
And we're laughing about it and enjoying it. Oops.
Yeah. So I then moved from New Zealand to, I moved from New Zealand. Sorry, I'll go start again if you're going to cut it out.
Moved to Australia. You were in
I
New
moved,
Zealand from 18, and then I think you moved
yeah.
to Australia.
Then I moved to Australia in my
Yeah.
20s, and I had a family member who had a brain injury, and I was quite interested why the person was acting the way they were acting, and this person really became my indirect case study.
Yeah.
I decided to study, initially I wanted to do law, but they had this new course where you could do criminal psychology together. And when I looked at it, I felt that the course could lead to so many other jobs opportunities. Of course, at that point, I wasn't sure where I was going to land. But yeah, then I study, and throughout my studies, I was then like really curious about this person, and I'm like, why are they acting this way? But then I would study, and I would get books, and I would look at case studies, and I would look at parts of the brains that are associated with it, until we led to this a neurofeedback assessment and neurofeedback training for this person, and then I took a help. I wanted to help this person. I took them to the neurofeedback sessions, and I learned about neurofeedback. This is all throughout my studies, and I'm like, I'm definitely going to study neurofeedback. But yeah, I think about 6 years after, I then joined the neurofeedback community and started to study neurofeedback as well. So yeah, so that's how I kind of became intrinsically motivated by this person's behavior, as well as looking at the studies. And in my belief, I think that the education, some people say you don't need education for anything, but I totally disagree with that, because you learn so much. And a lot of things that you learn throughout university, you can actually replicate, in your life. You can observe things, you can apply things in your real world. And that's exactly what I was doing unconsciously, until I was like, I'm actually replicating this, observing and making hypotheses, and does this trigger this person? It doesn't. Why? So that's how I kind of started my curiosity around it. And luckily I had really supportive studies and teachers who helped me to navigate that as well. I mean, it was my second language. As you can imagine, that would be pretty hard. But again, they were happy to adapt into my learning kind of abilities in terms of second language. And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy on how I have come in that sense. That, yeah, definitely education for me, it's absolutely, it's definitely something people should take into more seriously. It's a lot to learn from it if you become curious.
Well, that goes back to the old saying, doesn't it, about knowledge is power. But I actually don't like that saying, because knowledge is only powerful if you use it.
Yes. True.
Otherwise, it's not useful.
No,
it's not powerful at all. We have to use it. And everything you've said today, it's so powerful, but it's only, the power only stays in it if we actually live it and give it to other people, and then it passes on, doesn't it? It's only powerful for them if they go deeper or want to learn more, and then use it to help benefit themselves and others around them to thrive. Going back to some of the, whether it's the one you noticed or any other case studies, what were some of the things that you would question? Is there a case study that's come your way? And obviously you can use whatever example you feel fit. What is some of the people that may have shared with you about what they noticed in the people, whether it's themselves or people around them, in their families maybe, where, the brain is going downhill or declining? What are some of those small changes that before they question, what's the point of when they question it, if you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, you mean from the client going, how is this changing in this person?
Yeah, so let's say a client came to you and they've noticed a family member, and it's not normal. It's the question, wow, is this real? What's going on? What's the difference from versus what it's before? What point did they start to question? If you know what I mean, Vanessa.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. It's more like the results of something that you're implementing. Is it what sort of like what has changed after implementing something? Is that?
So let's say you've got clients come to you and I don't know, their partner, let's say, or their grandma, and they've noticed a decline. I don't know if you deal with more elderly people. You've not mentioned it, so I'm not too sure if you do. But let's say somebody comes to you and they've noticed the person that they're close to, they know their personality, their characteristics, but something isn't right, and they're questioning reality essentially.
Yes.
They've noticed a difference. What examples can you share that people have come to you and
Yeah,
said
that's a
that
tricky
something's
thing
changed?
as well, because a lot of people would come to me and say, no, there is. So we look at behaviors of concerns, which
Ah,
is
yeah,
like self-harming behaviors, breaking things, properties in the house,
yeah,
absconding behaviors, hoarding, like hiding things. So it's a lot of like people also can go, oh, this is a normal behavior. They can also normalize the behavior. So my job would then be going, okay, this is actually not that normal because you are now isolating this person into a room that actually goes against the human rights. And it's kind of my role as well in the behavior support field, looking at human rights and what can we bring in to make it more natural for the environment. Um, so if someone comes in with that, we know that has been based on what they're saying, that there has been things that are concerning to them. Some of them do throughout. When we can only really find out when we're doing functional behavior assessment. So I conduct the functional behavior assessment and I look at, social skills and things like that, social skills, communication skills, developmental milestones. And then that's when the person kind of goes, oh yeah, that is something. Wow, that is something. I haven't thought of that. It sort of like helps you to navigate what is behaviors of concerns and what is not. But in a lot of cases, people wouldn't even, as a concerning person towards someone, sometimes they go, am I going crazy, going concerned about this, or is that normal? So it would go depending of what their context, I would say, that they bringing into to the session and to their concerns.
yeah,
But every concern sometimes, they come with that concern, and then if we trace back, there is always something that was escalated at some point.
yeah,
And if, for instance, if a person doesn't want to leave the house and they want to be locked in a room, obviously they have been conditioned to be in that room, isolated, and then from what point this became normal, kind of
yeah,
navigating backwards, and looking at the behaviors there.
yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, and the going off topic slightly before we come to a close, Vanessa.
Sure.
And I'm very interested in this side. I'd love to read a lot more. I delve into it on a surface level, I suppose. But Alzheimer's and dementia. Do you ever deal with anyone? Have you ever come across any clients with Alzheimer's or going in
I
that road?
have come briefly with clients of Alzheimer's and dementia, and it's not a field that I actually work. My clients are more like schizophrenia.
Ah, yeah.
It's different. I mean, you can get a client with dementia when they're 35. I couldn't even say it's age related, right?
No, no, I agree.
But
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
I was going to ask you that. The next question was, what's the youngest you've come across,
yeah.
or in
I've
your
had a
research?
client with 35
Fuck.
with dementia.
I,
Yeah.
I interviewed one of the books up here. Oh, I forgot where it is. Lindsay Byrne. The book's called "What Did I Come In Here For Again?" Amazing. And she was on here early last year as one of my early clients, and we discussed it. And she said in England now, and she's not allowed to in England. You're not allowed to say Alzheimer's is preventable. She'll get sued for that.
Wow.
Apparently, but she said that she come across somebody with early Alzheimer's at the age of 19.
Wow.
So I'd love to go on a deep dive around that soon. I really, really would. I find all that fascinating.
Mm.
Quickly, I've messed up your head for some time now.
Yes.
Can you remember the code?
Llama 5. Llama? Is that Llama? No, Luna.
Nearly, but it's not llama.
Luna.
Nope,
Give me a clue.
it's a name. La
Luna. Lara.
Lara. Yep.
Laura.
Mm-hmm.
50, no,
Yeah, nearly.
5026 hashtag question mark dot
Nearly.
20
5610.
5610.
I'm going to WhatsApp you next week. I want it myelinated.
Yes, the strategy will be going like this. You know, you can make the sound and then go and make a music and then make memory more in the long-term memory. So you can make
Add,
a music.
add
Lara,
emotion to it.
5610 hashtag question mark dot.
I like it. You can just add an emotion to it. You can add this old, you can even add LOOW, leading our own way, to that, and you'll myelinate it.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
All right. Now,
The exercise.
I'm going to add a bonus question in here that I heard Jay Shetty ask one of his guests, and I've wrote it down because this is not part of my 3 final questions, but I wanted to ask you this. I wrote it down before we started, and I wanted to get it right because I realized I asked my guest last week, and I asked it completely wrong. So if you're listening, back in December, this episode went out with Gillian Ashcroft, and I said it completely wrong, and I reflected after. I can't edit that. Anyway, I want to ask you a question. Is there something you used to value that you don't value anymore? I can't take credit for that quality of question, by the way.
That I used to value that I don't value anymore. I think quantity over quality of friendship and people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Good. All right. My 3 final questions. Okay. Well, did you want to expand on that slightly?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
You probably don't want to go down that way.
We're going to keep on going otherwise.
Yeah. Making it uncomfortable. Right. So 3 final questions. I love this part. We're here. We're going to go down other routes. You never know. In 10 years, we might not be doing any of this. What are the future plans for yourself, Vanessa?
I would like to say that my future plan is to continue my professional career in this industry, and then obviously learn to further and contribute to further research, for long-term research in this industry. And with the power of learning and helping people to learn more about themselves, bringing them that concept of learning more about themselves.
Yeah, beautiful. And if there's a piece of advice to any topics that we've covered today, which is unbelievably a lot, but if you could think of anything that's just a powerful piece of advice to the general public or to my viewers, what would be a powerful piece, do you think, that you could give to them?
Don't underestimate the power of studying and the power of learning, and then also don't underestimate that your own experience can be actually be part of your learning journey in your studies, in your career. Because a lot of it has contributed, if you really think about it, that you a lot of the time want to engage in certain learning pathways, because it's a lot of to do with your story. It's a lot of to do with things that you were interested maybe as a child, but you maybe been turned over, like you're not good enough. But if you really have that perception, I think you can replicate a lot of things by observations and learning and believing in yourself, creating projects. I think it's really one of the things that I like to say.
Beautiful. Thank you. Well,
Thank
my
you.
final question, Vanessa, it's always sad when we come to the end, but I've had a great conversation. Your purpose is very clear, but I always ask the guest to put it into one powerful line. What would that be for you?
The powerful line would be, I think I've said that a lot of the times, but I would have to say that again in a new way. The powerful line would be learning about yourself. It's the most valuable thing you can do. Learning about you and how you can improve things within yourself first, because we can't really change what other people are doing in a lot of the times.
So your purpose would be what then? To help others?
Sorry?
So your purpose is to learn to help others?
My purpose is definitely to learn as much as I can about others and help them to learn about themselves. That is
Beautiful.
my purpose.
Love that. Vanessa, it's such an honour to have you all the way from Perth.
Thank you so much.
We're two foreigners living in Australia, aren't we?
Yes. Thanks for finding me, and thanks for feeling me so welcome, and all the welcoming pictures on the back and taking the time. I loved it. I love to contribute here. And thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for the time. I love it.
Thank you. The honour's all mine, and I'm glad you feel welcome, and that's my priority, is that my guest feels welcome and feels safe to talk. So I appreciate it, and it's a wealth of knowledge, and we definitely have a lot in common in that regard, and I love what you're doing. I wish I was doing a little bit like that, but we'll stick with the podcast for now. Thank you
found
so
your
much.
way.
Yeah, I'm leading my own way. That's right.
I love it. Continue with that. I love it.
I will.
Thank you. Thanks,
I might
Andrew.
have to ring you for some knowledge sometimes. Oh, I'm just stuck on this area. I'll give Vanessa a call.
I'm stuck on this.
If I ever come to Perth, I'll give you a shout. We'll have to go for dinner.
You should. Love to have you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
I'll hold you to that. Well, to everybody, thank you for joining Vanessa and myself on Leading Our Own Way. It's such an honour to have Vanessa all the way from Perth. She'll be getting ready to get the kids ready for bed soon, and mine are already in bed because we're 3 hours ahead. To everybody, thanks once again for joining us. It's such an honour for you guys tuning in every week. Keep coming back. We'll come back for another amazing guest next week. But until then, have a great weekend and keep leading your own way. Bye for now. Wow. We're here at the end of a beautiful week with Vanessa. You know, her journey reminds us that understanding ourselves, our brains, our stories, our needs, it's where real transformation begins. Please, if this conversation moved you, or, you share it with someone who needs to hear it, because there will be somebody, right? Make sure you've subscribed, please, because, the stories really, we're bringing you next. They're just going to inspire you, and I'd like to think, keep leading your own way. Thank you for being here. It really means a lot. Give us a support. Please share to anyone. And now go out there and lead your own way. Until next week with another amazing guest. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. And keep leading your own way. We'll see you then. Bye for now. Thanks for listening and watching Leading Our Own Way. So we can stay together forever and share more incredible journeys, please subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss next week's episode and what that amazing guest has to offer to the world. Please support Leading Our Own Way, and we'll get you on next week's episode.